Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another figure review. This time we're going to take a look at a brown box. And actually it's not a brown box, but those of you familiar with Transformer figures, you'd recognize what this would be. This is one of my mail-away figures that I've received. You can still see here the address where it was shipped from. In this portion here, there would have been a white piece of paper stating the address that it was being shipped to, mainly your house, obviously. And just taking a look at it from the back side, you can see here that this is still sealed. Bring it up nice and close. It's obviously has the glue coming through and whatnot, but this tape is on, whereas this side right here is where it has been opened. Now, I bought this figure off of eBay probably, geez, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And if the guy wasn't lying to me, it was original owner, and I think he had said he had taken it out maybe once. It is pretty immaculate, so that was my reason for pulling the trigger on it. It wasn't cheap. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was just too clean and too it was too hard to pass up. So without further ado, let's crack this guy open and we can show you what's on the inside of him. Okay, so normally I don't like to do this in real time because there's always something that screws up and you can never really account for any of that, but let's try and open him on camera, and if it goes well, I'll keep it in the video. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, so I just wanted to kind of show you guys exactly what was in there. So it's opens fairly easy, and as you can see, lovely non-environmentally safe styrofoam. It looks like it's going to slide out fairly easily, so let's do that on camera here. First off, you can see the book and other paraphernalia, so we're going to put that on the side for the time being, and slowly pull out this lovely specimen. I should be able to stand it up no problem without it screwing up, and there is nothing else in the box, so that's good. And here we have G1 Mail Away Optimus Prime. So let's take a further look at it and see exactly what is encompassed within this mail away figure. Okay, so let's get going with what was actually in the paperwork. I've taken it out of the bag just to save a little bit of hassle time, but here is one of the items. Now this is, again, these are all pretty pristine. So this is your little pamphlet showing what figures are in the line. And it's a fairly decent size fold out. It's your checklist for what Autobots you have in your collection, as well as, you know, your Decepticons, what you may need, and whatnot. Decepticons are on one side, and Autobots are on the other. There we go. I'll show a more detailed picture of that right here. Oops. And I should probably fold it up properly. Another thing that came with it is this very pristine, unused sticker sheet. Super flat. Like I said, I don't think this item's really been used at all. Here's a nice close-up of it. So all the decals that you would have needed to put on Optimus, which of course I will never do. Another thing included is, this is your order form showing what robot points you need that you can actually order away for these mail-away figures. Sunstreaker, for example, here is you would submit $8. There you go, sorry. $8 and 2 robot points. Whereas Ratchet is the same. There we go. It's hard to do this on camera. And there's a list of some of the other mail-away figures that you can order from. And there's nothing else on the other side there. So we'll throw that right there. And 3 other things. Oddly enough, this was weird. This set, for some reason, included in here, also came with a authentic G1 pristine Megatron instructions. So I don't know why it was in there. I guess this guy had, there he's talking about robot points. I guess maybe somewhere this guy had a Megatron and got stuff mixed up with it. Good for me, bad for him. Two things left. Here is the G1 Prime instruction manual that came with the set. Oops. And everything that should be included in there. You'll take note here, and there's reason for it. Gray roller, whereas the one that you'll see in the box over there when I pull it out is actually blue. Reason for that to be explained. And then finally, one of the things that's always missing, or some really hard to find, this is the authentic movie edition certificate, signifying that this is the Optimus Prime from the G1 movie. Now these sheets usually go for between $50 to $80 alone. At least that's what I've seen them for on eBay. But there are fake ones out there, so be careful with what you pick up. This one had been folded, so I've since pressed it out. But that's what it looks like. Anyway, that's all the paperwork that's included. Let's take a look at what's included actually with this figure itself. Okay, so first let's take a look at this nice environmentally friendly G1 styrofoam. You can see it's in pretty much immaculate condition, except for some, I think that's from the cardboard actually, but let's give it a little turnaround here. You can see the back is nice and clean. They've left, you can see holes here. That's for helping to push the figure out from the styrofoam because it can sometimes get stuck in there pretty good. And in case you're not smart enough, you can see here that they also give you instructions to remove tractor trailer from styrofoam tray, push out using finger holes in back of tray. Well, thanks for the advice. Stuck on by a little piece of tape, and hidden behind that is the whoa! What just happened there? My tape came loose. Well, you know what? That happens over age. Anyway, here is a roller. Now you can see here, he is purple, and as I mentioned prior, there is the version there that is gray. Obviously, there's different ones. This being the mail-away figure, this was a later production run happening near the end of the G1 line. So they had done different colors, as well as there's different variations in parts. Some, bigger fists, smaller fists, bigger guns, smaller guns. And basically, when they were putting these figures together, They were literally just pulling pieces out of boxes to help complete the orders. So sometimes you get gray, sometimes you get purple. As simple as that. So we'll put him on the side for now. Next we have these are the part bags, and I'm not even going to open this one because I don't think it has been opened. But you can see we've got the 6 wheels for roller still on the sprues. We've got the 4 missiles. These go into the turret that's inside Prime's trailer, as well as we got Optimus's. There's the barrel of his gun there. Now I'll make a distinction later. This barrel has a really skinny tip, like so. There's other ones that have a fatter tip, and I can show that off later, as well as here are Optimus's 2 fists still on the sprue, the gas tank, or sorry, the gas pump and hose for roller, and I think that's it that's in there. So yeah, obviously everything has still not been used. I'm not going to fight taking Prime out of the styrofoam on camera because that could be a complete disaster. So I'm going to do that off camera and show you some differences. So stick around. Okay, so here we are. A little bit of trouble getting him out, but that's why I did it off camera. As you can see here, G1 Optimus mail away in pristine condition. This guy literally is immaculate. I can't find anything wrong with him. So I made a good purchase when I went for him. And as you can see, there's, if you're familiar with Prime, what am I going to really show you? Aside from a few small details, which I will get into shortly. But I'm going to do a little bit of a close-up here just to show you actually how clean and pristine he is. But before I do that, let me just back him up. And I am going to bring this guy into the picture. This is my original G1 childhood Optimus Prime. Still in fairly excellent condition, minus 2 broken smokestacks, but when you're a kid, I think I did pretty good maintaining this guy. The chrome is all immaculate on the front and on the sides. Like I said, the only real damage is the smokestacks. So yeah, let's back him up, and we're going to do a comparison just to show you some differences between the two figures. Okay, so take a look at some comparisons here. I've got, this is the mail away. That's my original G1. You can see they're pretty identical cab-wise. I really can't see any differences looking at them head-on. You can see all the chrome is pretty immaculate on both of them. Well, definitely on the mail away guy. The mail away came with the Optimus or the Autobot rub sign on it, whereas mine, geez, I guess either it came off or I didn't put it on. I don't remember which. But the details, everything else is pretty much the same, and that's what mine would have had, smokestacks, and that's what they would have looked like, provided they hadn't broken off. Taking a look at the side of the trailers, you can see it's got the same color blue on it. The Autobot insignia is the same. The detailing on the side is the same in terms of these ridges that they've put on. This little, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it, circle picture is the same. One thing you will notice though, on my version, it's got 4 holes, as well as on the other side as well. But the mail away has nothing, and I will show you the meaning for that on the inside. But aside from that, it's they're virtually identical on the sides. Okay, looking at the bottom of the trailers, you can again see they are virtually almost identical, except for a few minor things. One thing you'll notice is the top one is my childhood one. My childhood one has smaller rectangles there, whereas the mail away has larger rectangle screws there. Again, I don't know what that's for. Probably some design upgrade or whatnot. Another thing, difference-wise, would be the copyright stamp on it. I'll bring this up. So mine says Takara Co. Limited, Japan, 1980 to 1982. And then if I was to pull up the mail away, it's got a bit more information on it. This shows Hasbro, 1980, 1982. Some Japanese stuff there. Takara Co. Limited, 1980, 1982, Japan. So that is really the main difference on the bottoms. Okay, so I'm going to go hands-free for this one here just because there's a little bit more to show you. I've opened them up. This is the mail away. That's my original G1. And just a brief glance, you can sort of see that everything is the same, except for a few minor things that you may notice right off the bat. Being the firing mechanism on this one is black, whereas mine is gray. And you remember how I mentioned on my trailer it's got the 4 holes on each side. What that is this here is actually just a plain sticker, whereas my original G1, these 2 pieces are metal. And that was because with the original Diaclone Optimus Prime, it came with little Diaclone figures that were like about that big, and they had magnets for feet, so they could stick in here or stick onto this, as well as they'd be the small guys that would fit, you know, inside the turret station there, and sort of be operational figures for Optimus Prime in battle station mode. Aside from that, though, and a little bit of dust on my G1. You can see these guys are almost virtually identical. And again, one thing I wanted to mention though, so that was the mail away purple roller, whereas my roller is gray and dusty. But aside from that, that was one of the differences, as well as, I don't know if I can, not sure how well I can do it here without pulling it out of the baggie. Optimus Prime's, I know there's a difference with the, gas station thing there, but I know with Prime's fists, which are kept, by the way, inside Optimus there's a difference in them. If I can get them out. Focus. Maybe do that. Okay, you'll see that Optimus fist here, you see his thumb is this small little piece on the top, whereas with these guys here, it's more distinct. It is nice and fat right there. So that's one of the differences, as well as Optimus's gun, which is in this other package. You can see the tip there is nice and skinny, whereas the piece that came with my Optimus is about twice the size. So I've got the fat gun, whereas the mail away came with the smaller version. Much prefer this guy here. So some of the differences with these two figures, both great. I actually prefer, I guess because I grew up with it, I think the fatter gun's a lot nicer, as well as I like the gray roller, and I like this part being gray as opposed to this black, which seems to stand out and doesn't really belong. But that's it. Thanks again, guys. I'm not going to bother transforming Prime. There's really no difference, and to be honest with you, I really don't think this guy's ever been transformed. So I'll leave it at that. I don't want to wreck him or do anything like that. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I don't really see very many mail away figures shown, and I just wanted to share one of mine with you, and hope you appreciate it. Great figures, mail away or original, and I just hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can find me on Twitter at ACDecepticon, and you can find me on Instagram at MyLifeInCollecting. Take care, guys, and we'll see you again real soon.